Alright, just sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, September the 13th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always. It's none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen. If that is your real name.
Gentlemen is my real name. What do you got there, Harry? Let me see. J-E-T. Never mind. That's that. And RadioPete, you got Price is Right, tuna sound.
Yeah, it was supposed to be tuba, you know.
Yeah.
Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba. But in keeping unintentionally, I'm assuming it's a Freudian spelling slip. Because it's about the Jets, it was misspelled. Because nothing can be done right when it comes to the Jets.
Maybe you had tuna for lunch today or something.
Or maybe he was reminiscing about when tuna was the head coach.
I was missing Parcells. Yeah,
there you go. Exactly.
They still didn't win a Super Bowl.
No, they came close.
No.
Yeah,
they came close of getting to one.
They certainly did.
Yeah. And what that team from Denver beat them, I think.
They did.
Yeah,
AFC Championship
in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, that was a year we had hope. We had genuine hope.
So was it 90, 98, 99, right? They went to the AFC Championship game. They lost to John Elway. Then in 09, they went to the AFC Championship game and lost to Peyton Manning. And then in the year after, in 2010, they went to the AFC Championship game and lost to Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
What do these three things have in common?
The other team had better quarterbacks.
There we go. There we go.
If I remember correctly, I think they were up by 10 against Denver at the half.
They were up. They were up.
I remember that because my wife and I were traveling out to California to visit her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we were going the day before. And I was like, oh, cool. We're going to get to watch, football. It's on a little earlier on the West Coast.
Sure.
But no, we were on the plane. And when we landed, it was over.
It was over.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So, it was probably better not having to go through it. And
that's true.
Finding out, we're up by 10, and then a couple hours later, nope.
Not so much. But that's my point, though. Okay, they had the other team. So who did the Jets had? Obviously, Sanchez for 2009 and 2010. And who was quarterback in, obviously, same deal happened, right? I mean, earlier that year, that was the year after.
Testaverde was the
Neil O'Donnell was the quarterback when they went to the AFC Championship game, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Who knows?
All right, but the year after that was
correctly.
And the year after that is when Testaverde tore his Achilles and was out for the season. And they went.
Wasn't it Testaverde that they went to because he had his best year ever in his career with the Jets.
Right, it was Testaverde. You're right.
And then the next year we were like, we're okay. We're still in this Testaverde. And then he hurt his ankle. His Achilles, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was his
walking
Achilles,
out of the fucking tunnel week one.
Yep, same thing.
Well, it wasn't exactly that. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, eerily similar.
Eerily similar.
That was one of the first things that came to my mind when I saw Aaron Rodgers sit back down on the turf. Mm-hmm. I went, fucking Testaverde.
Yep.
You
and about 50,000 other Jet fans went the same thing.
Yeah. For the last number of years, we've always been able to say that the salvation of New York football is the Buffalo Bills. I think that taking the greater New York area, the swamps of New Jersey, Connecticut, and Buffalo, I think it's going to be a sad year.
Well, it depends, right? It depends.
You know what? It might make for a very interesting. Are they for real?
It might just do that. Listen, we're going to talk about the Jets
a little bit. We should start with.
We should start with that, right?
And as I think I messaged you guys on Monday night, I said, and suddenly it's last year,
and
just like that, it's last year,
and just like that, it's last year.
Yeah. So we might go. Although the Giants should be better, they got Saquon.
This is true.
They had Saquon.
Let me tell you something. The Giants should be better than
Giants
they
are
were
not
last
better.
year, or the Giants should be better than the Jets?
No.
Because, I mean, if you're comparing Saquon to Breece Hall, Saquon's good, but Breece Hall's
Giants had Saquon last
fantastic.
year. Am I missing something?
Giants had Saquon last year at full strength.
The Giants had an easier schedule last year. You guys don't listen to me when I said the Giants are going to win 7 games if they're lucky. Look, the one thing that this Jets, Giants, and a lot of other teams have in common is that somebody has to realize that a 325-pound, 6'3" rhinoceros cannot block a 6'2", 210-pound chiseled cheetah. It doesn't fucking work.
Right.
And between the Giants, the Jets, and the Bengals, okay, anybody who scouts for them and who has picked an offensive lineman over the last 8 years should be fired.
Shot. Fired. I went shot, but that's fine.
They just can't do it. They can't do it.
Let's talk about Rodgers for a minute. We'll start with Jets. I'm obviously I wore this in honor of you, Pete. If you want to take another picture and put it up as your profile picture, it was 3 years you had my photo up, so that was pretty.
It's still
good.
Up there, yeah.
No, it's still on your thing, but it's not your profile picture anymore.
I'm not a Jets fan, but this is the only thing I had to look forward to.
I know.
In this NFL season. So
I know.
Take the whole.
Well, you can root for Buffalo. They're still a New York team.
What's
That's
that?
true.
They're more a New York team than the Jets and the Giants.
Who?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Buffalo sucks.
No, I'm just saying if you want to root for a New York team, there's only one.
I got a theory about that, and I'll get to it in a second.
They're not more New York, trust me.
I got a theory about that, and I'll get to it in a second. They're
the most Canadian team.
Let me open this in honor of this talk. I grabbed the can of this right here.
Yeah.
Fireman Ed's lager.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Okay.
Fireman Ed is a tired old human meme who should just stop it.
Is he a Jets fan?
Stop it.
Fireman Ed.
He's the guy who supposedly originated the Jets chant. So he stands and he's got I guess he was a former fireman.
He was.
So, but he stands and he riles up the crowd and he gets them,
So he's like Joe the
nice
Plumber.
thing, but
right, pretty much.
Yeah. But we've heard it 80, 100,000 times.
All right. So what's your thoughts on the Jets?
What are you cheering for anyway? What are you cheering for?
Well, actually, he was actually at the brewery that released this. He was there before the game, and he did the cheer in the tasting room and everything else. But cheers to hopefully.
I'm sure he's a good guy and all, but there's no reason to.
Cheers to what will hopefully be a salvageable season where they actually can win some games. Because I'll be honest with you, clink. There we go. Because I'll be honest with you, what I saw, and you could argue with me if you want, but what I saw the other night, what I saw the defense do, and to Harry's point, Buffalo sucks. I don't think Buffalo sucks.
Well, Josh Allen threw 3 interceptions.
Right. Well, you know what though? But he does that. He does that. Okay. So Josh Allen does that.
So the Jets will have a good season if they can have 2 touchdowns on special teams. If the opposing quarterback gives them 3 gift interceptions, and their one salvation at wide receiver can catch a shitty pass with one hand with another guy draped all over him. Well, yes, I think they'll win 5 or 6 games.
That's not where I'm going with this. What I was saying was, I don't think Buffalo sucks. Okay, I don't think they're Buffalo from 2 years ago, but I certainly don't think
that night. Yeah.
Okay, well, no, I honestly, I think the Jets' defense is really that good.
Of course they are. They're good.
Okay,
they're the second best defense in the NFL. Well, third best defense in the NFL.
All right. So that being said, you can't say that Buffalo sucks. If they're the third best defense in the NFL, because it's the same thing. Look, you're never as good as you look. You're never as bad as you look. Right.
That's true.
And everybody says that because, and it's true, right? We'll get to the Giants in a minute, but I certainly don't think that the Giants are going to lose every game 40-0 this year. Okay. Now I honestly believe that they're going to go out and kick the crap out of Arizona next week, but we'll get to that in a minute. But my point is, no, the Jets aren't going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Jets are a borderline playoff team.
The Jets may make the playoffs. Okay. Yeah. Here's what they got to do. All right,
they got to come up.
They got to come up. Are you talking about now or before play 4?
Now.
Now.
And I'll tell you, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, Zach Wilson is more forward than he was last year, and for a couple of reasons. One, Nathaniel Hackett, obviously, and he had the tutelage of Aaron Rodgers for training camp too. But he's also going to have something that not many other quarterbacks have, other than his coordinator in Nathaniel Hackett and his quarterbacks coach. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, once he has a surgery or whatever, and he's in a cast, I seriously don't think he's going to be sitting home watching TV. I'm fairly certain he'll be working to some degree with Zach Wilson. All right. But what they need to do is they need to come up with a game plan that limits Zach Wilson the opportunity of screwing up. All right.
Yeah, and then they need to share that with the Giants.
Exactly. Right. But come up with that game plan and just grind it out, ground and pound. Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, work some schemes, get some points on the board, and have that defense just stop everybody. That's what they need to do. And are they going to win 13 games like that? No. They might win 10, maybe 9. They can. I won't say they will, right? So maybe they get a wild card, right? We'll get to that comment in a minute. Maybe they have a wild card. Maybe they get the wild card. Maybe they don't. Some people are saying that they still have a possibility of being able to win the division. I seriously doubt. All right. Miami looked way too good. Granted, they were only playing the Chargers, but and Chargers are a good team. And I use the air quotes because, until they go further than the first round of the playoffs with this team, I don't think, but I'm not going to get into the Chargers right now. So I think the Jets can do something. We have one comment right here from Jessica Barbera. She says, she's betting that the Jets will have a better record than the Giants.
I'm betting I have a better record than the Giants. You're not going out on a limb there, Jessica. I mean, it's look. Here's two things I'll say to that. Number one is, I don't agree. This is the same Jets team as last year with some veteran receivers who are probably not going to be the difference makers now that they were when Aaron Rodgers is on the field. I think they have, much like I said last year, I think they have electric speed. And they have a very good defense. There are some weaknesses in their defense, but they have a very good defense. And I think that they will be the 49ers of 2 or 3 years ago. Well, they were manufactured points in untraditional ways. And I do think Salah has that in him to draw up some plays that allow these guys in an untraditional way to score some points. And I do think they'll be opportunistic. I think they have a very hard schedule. I think they have a harder schedule than they did last year. And the Jets will not win anything with Zach Wilson. It's just not going to happen. In fact, I don't think Zach Wilson will be the quarterback for the remainder of the year.
Well, here's the other thing, too, because obviously they need to go out and they need to sign somebody to back up Zach Wilson, right? I did hear that they've already reached out to, get this, Chad Henne.
There's the answer.
I think is not a bad thing because he actually came in and held the fort down for Patrick Mahomes for a few games in there a couple of years ago. But they're not going to get a starting quarterback by any means. I mean, people are throwing names around like, go get Carson Wentz or Jacoby Brissett or Jameis Winston or Nick Foles, right? Why not just bring back Ryan Fitzpatrick? But he's doing commercials with Kevin Hart right now. So in any event, whoever they get to back him up is obviously going to be a veteran that hopefully can and might be able to, play that role of not screwing up and just holding down the fort while they ground and pound.
Where's Mike White?
So if Mike White's in Miami, Mike White left.
Mike White left for greener pastures.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
And, but in any event, my point is if Zach Wilson starts screwing up, in comes that guy immediately. They're not going to let the season go.
They don't have that guy yet.
Well, they're going to get him soon.
So what you're saying is that the Jets are betting their eggs on trying to do the best they can this year, which is all you can do. And that Rodgers at 39 years old, coming back at the age of 40 from a torn Achilles for a 1-year shot at a Super Bowl.
That would be correct. That would be correct. Okay. If that even happens. So
right.
Dave
I would say the odds. Yeah, exactly, Dave. They have
now they have to go to Dallas next.
They have a really hard schedule, much like the Giants.
Dallas and KC and Philly.
Yeah.
Over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Look, the Jets. Number one, the Jets need to learn to block, or else Zach Wilson's going to be in the same position that a lot of these other guys are. Now, the Jets
on his ass
look better than some others, but not great. And their offense, while they put some points on the board, and he might have been a vocal rah-rah guy in the locker room, they didn't look overly. That game never should have went to overtime. That's my point. The Jets had it won. It never should have went to overtime. Their vaunted defense let Buffalo come down and
but think about what they let them do.
Let me finish. But my point being is that this is your chance. Go big. Fuck it. You went big and got Aaron Rodgers. It didn't work. Go big. And what I would be on the horn every 10 minutes for a big name quarterback. Give it a shot. Fuck it. You have nothing to lose because this window of opportunity is going to be very small. It's going to be very, very small. And if you play this year out and next year Rodgers can't go, then you're still stuck with Zach Wilson as your starting quarterback. And you made all of this investment to build a team around a quarterback. Go get a quarterback that's worth building a team around. And if you tell me that they're not out there, they're out there. Go get them. It ain't Chad Henne.
It ain't?
No, it ain't. Okay.
I have an idea who it might be.
Yeah.
It might be this guy right here.
They're not bringing the goat out.
Why not? Why not? Oh my God, it would be the best story ever.
Could you imagine? But what's amazing is that the Patriots just retired his number this past Sunday.
Imagine.
Well, he is already divorced, right? So he's not going to piss off his wife.
That's true.
All right, listen. Here's what you're going to see from the Jets. Well, everything that Harry said is true about what they should do. They absolutely should. I don't think it'll be Brady. I think he is done. But Chad Henne is not the answer. It's got to be somebody better than that. So what Harry said is true. You have nothing to lose.
Give me some names.
If you don't go get someone, as he just said, worth building this team around or worth plugging into this team that you built around Aaron Rodgers, the window is open this much. Next year, you can't count on anything because you don't know whether Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy, how it's going to affect him physically, or if he's even going to want to play. He might just go, enough. Now,
agreed.
What if they don't do that and they play out this season? Then they will be exactly what we saw on Monday.
Yep.
A very, very good defense. All this, of course, as we always say with every team, barring the injury situation. They will be a very, very good defense that will keep them in games, probably score some points for them, decent special teams, and a very largely ineffective offense.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who they put under center on this team right now. There's no one on this team who's going to make them considerably better. And I'm going to say about Zach, I disagree with you, John. He might be a little bit better because, yes, Aaron Rodgers was a tutor for training camp, and he's a little bit older and maybe has a different perspective. But there's literally no hard evidential reason to think that he's gotten demonstrably better.
No, he has not gotten demonstrably better. It's incrementally.
Okay, so then you're going to see what you saw. A team that shows occasional flashes of competence, and Garrett Wilson doing what he does. That's just a great catch. But
Harry, did you say the other night he didn't catch that ball? He intercepted the interception that Zach Wilson threw.
Yeah, it's a good point. But again, you think to all the things. Like you look back. Right, we talk about the Giants in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, right? The helmet catch and all the things that you would think you would never normally see. Well, sort of, Josh Allen is prone to binges of turnovers. No question about that. It's really the one knock against him.
He has the most turnovers and the most points. But you're not going to get that. Look,
no, you're not going to get that every week with every quarterback.
Put Josh Allen on the Jets, and you got a Super Bowl team.
Pete,
listen,
Dave agrees 100% with you, Pete.
So. I heard this today. I think it was since 2018, Josh Allen has 84 turnovers. That's the most of any quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he has the most points.
So
he has the most touchdowns too.
Right, but look at all the things that had to happen. 3 interceptions, 2 of them really, really badly overthrown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? The third one was, I don't want to say the others weren't legitimate, but I mean, those are just terrible passes from a very good quarterback. And then the kickoff run back with the penalty that wasn't called, understandably, but still, it was a leg whip. I don't think it would have kept them from winning the game because they would have been in field goal range anyway. But all of these things. This is what the Jets are if they don't go out and get somebody
Yeah, no, you're
good
absolutely right.
to sit under
You're
center.
absolutely
Very,
right.
very good defense that'll keep them in it. A largely ineffectual offense, which occasionally breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I just don't think.
Yeah.
I just don't think Zach has had enough to
So-
make him good enough to make them consistently better. Is
Right.
he
So
a
the-
little bit better? Sure.
Right.
But
So the Jets
not
have
to make as much of a difference as
Jets
they
have a very good defense, one or two really good receivers, an ineffective offense, good special teams. So they're 300 times better than the Giants.
300,
Yeah.
ish, yeah.
And listen,
We'll get to them in a
Brees Hall
second.
Brees Hall looks great, and you've got Dalvin Cook, so they should be able to run. But
Well,
any team, if you're a one-dimensional team who runs, any team in the league can shut you down. Any
Yeah.
team can stack
And
them up.
I want to see 4 yards, 5 yards of carry in the fourth quarter, and not all of it on an 80-yard run, which I'm not
Yeah,
taking
that's
away
right.
from.
Two
that you
carries
gotta
for
grind it out.
109 yards. I mean, that
Right.
doesn't necessarily give you an
Exactly.
idea. That's not going to
So-
happen every week either.
This Jets team is a Kirk Cousins away from being a playoff team, and
Yeah.
they're a slightly better than Kirk Cousins team for being a Super Bowl contender.
Well, let me ask you
Yeah.
on that point, both of you, Pete first, but on that point, who should they sign that's available, trade for that's not signable immediately? Who would it be? Who are you thinking that would be? Like Dave just wrote in, he put Stafford.
I agree. Look, I think you got to go big.
Pretty
Just go big.
sure Stafford's,
Well, is he? They had one good game. His best receiver is out for the year. He doesn't get along with any of the young guys on the team. His wife even said that. They had a good game. Okay. They've sucked last year. And I don't think they're a much better team this year based on the
he
the
won the
personnel
Super
that
Bowl.
they have.
Get the hell out of there. Trade for him. Bring him in.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Win another.
I mean,
see now, and I
have
can
to see
see,
what
I can
the,
see Matthew Stafford actually making this, actually probably being able to do at least as good, if not a better job than Aaron Rodgers would have done.
I don't know
Well,
about
assuming
that.
he can still throw the ball.
Well, he can still throw the ball, and he has two
but
healthy
again,
feet.
as we have said 100,000 times, the basic problem is right now Zach Wilson, yes, but it's at least half as much of the basic problem is the offensive line,
Yeah.
which they
No,
just did not make good enough.
No,
Which,
they
if you want to feel good about your offensive line,
Yeah, exactly. Well, on that note, Dave just wrote in, if the same Dallas defense from the Giant game shows up this Sunday, Wilson might just quit.
Yeah,
I agree.
He might. I mean, look, it doesn't matter who's back there if you can't protect them. And look, Brown is 39 or 38 years old or whatever. You got Max.
right?
What's his name? Mitchell. I want to say Muncie. It's not Muncie.
Max
Mitchell, whatever. Who is shows promise.
I hear Tom
Don-
Tup is available.
Donovan Mitchell.
But he's essentially a rookie.
I hear Tom Tup
Played
is
about
available.
6 downs last year and then got hurt. You got
Did-
Becton, who's
Do you know
playing
what
the
it comes?
right side on a twice
Right. But
surgically
you-
repaired right knee. I mean, this
comes
line
down
is-
to? Do you know what that comes down to? What you're saying is coaching.
Mhm.
Because here's the thing, okay? Being an old offensive lineman myself, I'm obviously not at any level close to this, but I do know this, okay? When you got 3 guys lining up against 2 guys, 99.9% of the time you're going to lose, okay? Especially against guys who are twice your speed and half your size. So it comes down to coaching. And all of these offensive coordinators are arrogant enough to think that they could have 5 wide and let 5 guys block 5 or 6. It's not going to work, especially when your offensive line is weaker. So you have to
Did you see?
and bring a running back in or bring a tight end in to chip these guys, and you have to be able to throw short passes in the opposite direction. And that requires a quarterback who can audible when he sees what's going on, and that's not Zach Wilson.
It's not Zach Wilson, and you're 100% right. Did you see those 2 big runs and any bigger run from Brees Hall on Monday night? Did you see what set they had? 2 tight ends.
Right.
2 tight ends.
And Hall might have gone to the end zone. Except
He ran out of
Wilson.
Way
he was already in and put his
way
hands
out.
up. And didn't
It's
throw
just
a
a
block.
reality.
Wilson never blocked. Yeah, Wilson
It's
never
just a
blocked.
reality. Look, I would have a fullback, if there still is one on the Jets roster, or a tight end who actually follows in motion wherever Micah Parsons goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
This
Like
is
an offensive spy.
This is the reality.
I gotta be honest with
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We'll see what they do.
you. See what they do. We'll see what they do. You're absolutely right. And on that note,
I think they're gonna have to trade for somebody. I don't think there's anybody out there, but there might be.
They'd have to
I'll
trade for
what,
Jacoby Brissett. They'd have to trade for Jameis Winston. They have to trade for Matthew Stafford. Obviously, no, the other guys. I'm saying, but
go big or go home.
Matt Ryan.
Nope.
Carson Wentz.
Go big or go home. Look, all of these guys have proven that they can't play anymore, with the exception of one or two. That's it.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
If you want to take a shot at
not going to do anything for you.
If you want to take a shot with Carson Wentz, he has to basically cost you zero.
Any of those guys,
and that's pretty much thrown in the towel anyway.
Carson Wentz had a half a good year and has not been good since then.
Any of those guys, with the exception of Stafford, would just be game managers. That's it.
Yep.
Don't screw up. Ground and pound. Throw the occasional pass when you can. That's all they would be. That's it. That's it.
How old is Alex Smith?
Go big or go home.
Alex Smith's done.
He's actually announcing now. I saw him.
Aaron Rodgers with his torn Achilles is healthier leg wise than Alex Smith right now.
I don't know. He's supposed to be good.
Well, he came back, but did you see? No. He did.
Well, but they
did
can't
you see his leg?
No,
he has no muscle in his leg.
Yeah, but they can't. Whoever's back there, listen.
God bless him that he did that.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's back there if they can't protect him.
Come on.
If you don't have more than
Kirk Cousins,
0.8 of a second.
I don't think the Vikings are letting him go anywhere.
Yeah.
He's not leaving.
Well, you know what? Maybe not right now, but
it's a goal for him for the rest of his career.
The Giants will waste a ton of money on Kirk Cousins come 4 years. They'll probably give him a 6-year contract when he's 39. Yeah, just wait for that.
So,
all right, on that,
sorry, Jets fans, it's going to be
a lot longer of a season than you thought it was going to be.
Another season of disappointment.
I'll tell you what, though, one quick thing before we get off the Jets. What a great story! What a great story with that guy who walked on to camp, running back a punt.
Oh yeah,
the game.
Yeah,
great story.
Great
story. There's a lot of things to like about this Jets team. This is a loss for the NFL. This was a great story. This was giving a obviously tough, historic, franchise a chance at something, and then the curse. I think it's the curse of New York. If you look at the last, I think all of New York is cursed. Look at the Yankees, the Mets, the Nets. Let's not forget about the Nets. Okay, the Jets and the Giants. The Knicks they've been cursed for a long time.
Nick started it a long time ago.
Yeah, the curse of Charles Smith has never left the house. Right. So look, it's just
the Jets are Dave 100%.
You're right. A long-suffering franchise, and not only that, but from this market, from the New York market.
100%.
We deserve something other than 4 plays. We deserve
100%, Dave. Jets are absolutely cursed. And you know what? And a few people actually said this yesterday. The only thing that would have been more Jets to happen on Monday night than what would have been Aaron Rodgers tripping and getting injured while he was running out with the flag.
Yeah,
that would have been Daniel Jones.
Right.
And listen, weeks and months ago, when I said that the Jets were going to be good through the first 6 or 7 or 8 games until Rodgers got hurt,
right?
I will say this:
You're being an optimist, Pete.
You were being optimistic.
I hate being right. But I'll say this about
pat yourself on the back
statement. I honestly did believe that probably Aaron Rodgers would get hurt at some point during the season. I wasn't hoping for it because I said it, but the uncertainty for me was how long it would take for him to come back. I knew he would get hurt at some point.
Would it be a 3-week injury, a 6-week injury, a season-ending injury?
Right. 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks with a bye. Would it be 8 weeks? Whatever. But I certainly didn't think it would be 4 plays into week 1.
No one has ever won a championship with a bad offensive line.
No. And one last thing on the whole Jets thing and Aaron Rodgers is I heard, and I didn't watch, I'll be honest, I didn't watch any Hard Knocks. I didn't watch one episode of Hard Knocks. Nothing.
Maybe the most ironic title.
Right.
It's like the new Madden curse.
Apparently it was said on Hard Knocks and it was talked about. And I just heard this last couple of days, obviously, since Monday. Apparently Aaron Rodgers was actually arguing with Nathaniel Hackett, like his buddy, his partner in crime, right? Arguing with him these chop blocks.
Yeah.
Right. You got to 5 billion pound offensive lineman. Put your body on the guy.
That's like,
Don't chop block him, because
like
all he has to do is jump over you, which is exactly what happened when he got hurt on Monday night.
That's like pissing in the wind. It doesn't never works.
Nothing. So anyway, on that note, let's switch over to the patheticness from Sunday night. All right.
By the way, I just want to point something out.
The Jets with Rodgers were legit. Yes, Dave. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
I just want to point something out. The John that we see on Facebook, and that's the only time I ever go on Facebook, is to see moose balls and poop emojis, is the most different human being that I've ever met. John's always optimistic on here. The Giants are going to win 12 games. Daniel Jones he's digging deeper than an excavator to find some stats to bolster all this up. And then immediately when one play goes wrong, it's just a fiery inferno of incomprehensible fucking anger. It's fantastic. It's must watch social media.
Oh my God. Apparently I entertained throngs of people on Sunday, more so than the Giants did anyway. Giants fans.
I was trying to joke with him because he said something out and there's only like 6 or 7 poop. I go, and no poop emojis. And like, instead of him laughing, he's like, there were 6 poop emojis. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Dave on here. Dave actually texted me during all of that. He said, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, here it goes. Me and my brother were cracking up from John's comments." There you go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's okay. Let's go even further down.
I've gone nuts on social media
about the Giants.
I've gone nuts on social media for far less screw ups than the Giants did on Sunday. All right.
Right.
So I mean, that was obviously going to be like everything. Yeah. But I got a few weeks out in one day, so hopefully,
Thank God you're not applying for a corporate job, Mr. Flato. Do you have any social media accounts?
No, I do not.
No, I don't.
Anyway, look, I don't know what to say. I mean, look, everybody, it did me, both of you, Dave, everybody, anybody. When they came down the field on that first drive, before the false start penalty on Andrew Thomas, who, by the way, didn't have one false start penalty last year, the entire season, not one false start penalty. He was the first penalty of the year for the Giants.
Put that D line in you. You're going to have some false starts.
Okay. Not while he's going up against Micah Parsons at that point, right?
Yeah, it was barely a false start, too. You used to be able to get away with those.
It was ticky-tack. It wasn't blatant. It was like move, snap, right. But whatever, right? That went all the way down. But the entire drive all the way down, that was wonderfully executed. Why did they move away from that? I mean,
well, I think it's less that why did they move away from it. Dallas made some adjustments, and that drive was basically showing what Daniel Jones can do, which is avoid a clusterfuck.
Right.
And then they started shadowing him a little bit more. And also they just, instead of trying to allow him, instead of diving the inside of the pocket, they just came around the end, which doesn't give him, that's fine if you could step up and the middle of the pocket isn't collapsed, but the poor guy's going to die. And Dable should have had him out of the game long before he did.
Yeah, I don't know why the hell he was in there until the last drive. That was ridiculous.
He always looks a little shell-shocked.
Halfway through, or at least towards the end of the third quarter, he should have been out.
I mean, Daniel Jones's facial expressions make Eli Manning look fierce, but it's just he was shell-shocked because he's I don't know how many times he was hit, but he was sacked 7 times.
He was 19 times he was hit. Yeah. 19.
Look, we've talked about this on this podcast forever, and this is my frustration. I think
every snap he was hurried.
Every time
19 times, sack 7.
Look, and you're going to see this in the first 2 weeks because nobody plays anymore in the preseason. So the defense is always, passing is down, scoring was down. The defense is great. Quarterbacks look bad. Mediocre quarterbacks look horrible. With the exception of Miami, nobody really lit it up on the offensive side, and that's because the defense has an advantage. You're able to move around, stunt, and you're going up, and it's just, you have to rethink it. The defensive players have gotten way faster than the offensive linemen, and you can't go with the 5 front offensive line and cover what Dallas was doing. And the fact that it took the Giants as long as they did to even attempt to do something about it just really makes me question Daboll and his coordinators
and Kafka.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And while Dallas scored a lot of their points on what's called special teams, defense, whatever you want to call it, the Giants' defense didn't look all that great either. The Giants have a lot of young players at skill positions. The cornerbacks, I don't think, did horrible. They have basically a new offensive line with guys playing in different positions, guys who haven't practiced a lot together. And, the best blocker on the Giants was Saquon Barkley.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It was.
He saved them a couple times. Yeah. So the Giants are going to have to rethink this. They're deep at tight end. They need to go to more 2 tight end sets. And their quick passing game has to get quicker. Because if not, look, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Daniel Jones is going to be put in a situation where he's going to turn into the next Andrew Luck. And I'll say the same thing about Joe Burrow. These 2 teams need to get their shit together and protect their quarterbacks, or else they are going to get hurt and hurt badly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. 100%. I don't know what to say. The only thing I can say is that I don't see any way that, like I said before, you're never as good as you look, you're never as bad as you look, right? The Giants were not a 40-0 team on Sunday night. They were maybe a 20-0 team on Sunday night, right? And the Cowboys weren't a 40-0 team on Sunday night either, because let's face it, not that they had to, and I'll give them that. Like their offense really didn't do a whole hell of a lot. Again, not that they had to, right? But again, they weren't a 40-0 win offense on Sunday. They were more of a 20-0 win off. So again, you're never as good as you look, you're never as bad as you look. But on that note, I don't think that there should be any reason that the Giants come out of Arizona with anything less than a win and a convincing win too, not like by a field goal at the end of the game.
You would
winning the game by the beginning of the third quarter.
You would think that, but I actually watched some of the Arizona game, and the conventional wisdom is they're tanking for Caleb Williams. Let me tell you something. That game was a game up until the fourth quarter, and Arizona was there to play. And Arizona, again, on the defensive side of the ball, caused some problems. So, should the Giants win? Oh yeah, this is the one you got chalked up as a definitive win. This game's going to be close. Look, I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but the one thing I did say is Dallas is an 11 or 12 win team. Nobody wanted to agree with me. They are, and they're just, their defense is that good. And
unfortunately for them, Philly's probably a 12 or 13 win team.
I understand that. But look, my point is. And the Giants are going to really have to work to get to 8 wins this year. And this should be one of them. If the Giants go into Arizona and lose this game, which let's face it, isn't out of the question, then I think you got to really start making some hard calls.
Agreed. Oh, crazy. Insane. I don't know. I don't get it. But in any event, we'll see what happens with that too. I don't know. Dave,
I sent you a picture of the week 1 picks.
Okay.
In the email.
All right. I will.
Just in case you didn't have anything else to do, rather than load that up. Though.
I will do that while we're talking.
We're off to a rousing start.
We're off to a rousing start.
Well, it was a good week. Green Bay actually looked good. San Francisco looked really good, but teams that could play defense look good. The offenses looked a little rusty, with the exception of Miami, who. Boy, it's nice having Tyreek Hill on your team. It really is. Right. He might be the first wide receiver to win MVP in a long time if he keeps this up. This is just crazy.
Yeah. This graphic actually wound up splitting between 2 pages, so I'll just read it for now. I'll read it when we do it. I'll read it when we do our games. I just want to throw up Dave's comment here. He says, "I heard John went outside during the game and cut his grass at halftime in the dark and pouring rain." I did. That's true. That is true. And screaming while I was doing it too. It
was therapy.
It was therapy. I was calm by the time I came back in.
If it was a push mower and you had a liter of bourbon in your hand, then it would be a Tom Waits song.
Tom Waits. Well, it kind of was. But in any event,
you have a lawn. Where the hell do you have a lawn?
In front.
So that took you like 6 seconds. It's like 4 foot by 8 foot. You have a lawn. Do you have a lawnmower for that?
Of course. Well, I don't cut it with a pair of scissors.
Jeez.
Anyway, all right. Look, it is what it is, right? Here's the thing, too. Week 1, like you just said, the offenses. There were a lot of offenses that weren't even clicking. It wasn't just the Jets and the Giants. Forget about the Jets. It wasn't even the Giants. But a lot of people have said this over the last couple of days, and I'm buying into it now. I didn't because it's been this way for a little bit, but more so than the past this year, definitely. The first week, if not the first 2 weeks, are like preseason because no one plays in the preseason anymore. Preseason's basically just to see what you have as far as who you're going to cut and who you're going to keep on the practice squad.
That makes you feel
all
better.
The preseason is. No. I don't just mean it for the Giants. I'm not talking about that for the Giants or even the Jets. I mean the whole entire league.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's almost like you can throw away the first couple of weeks, except for whoever wins and loses. Obviously, it's part of the main record, right? It keeps,
Right.
but it's stupid. I think that they might want to get back to playing at least one of those preseason games, and maybe you take them out in the second half, whatever, but they actually get play time against another team on a live game, not a scrimmage situation where they're not going, full on. But anyway, that's just my point.
Let me ask you guys one thing real quick. Doesn't have to be a long explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the artificial turf at MetLife had anything to do with Rodgers' injury?
I do. I don't think it had as much to do with Nick Bosa's injury a few years ago. I don't think it has as much to do with Saquon's injury a couple of years back. But I think it did have some because they actually changed it, right? It's a little different turf. They got the rubber pellets underneath.
Well,
how annoying is that to get those all over you?
What I was also going to ask is why do they have chocolate sprinkles under the
well, in case
Daniel Jones looked like a vanilla ice cream cone. It was dipped.
I'm like, what the hell's going on with his face? Did he get like moles or something? What the hell's going on?
He was trying to dig a hole in his face.
Trying to dig out his face.
Go underground.
They're the NFL Players Association. I tried to download the article before, but I couldn't, just to put up a couple of graphics on this. But the NFL Players Association actually just came out maybe a few hours ago. Actually, the entire Players Association is demanding, not just like requesting, demanding that the NFL mandate that all stadiums go to natural grass. Screw this turf shit. Spend the fucking money. Put in natural grass. You make billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars every year. Put in natural grass. You twat waffles. Do it.
Twat waffles.
Yeah, it's my new thing.
Yeah, there have been a lot of complaints from the players, from the teams.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just MetLife either. MetLife's a big culprit of it, but it's not just MetLife. Put in natural grass. Just do it. Enough of this shit. So anyway, all right. Should we do beaten by the coin, or you want to do are they for real?
Let's do are they for real?
Let's do the are they for real? Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. I believe that would be the time to do. Let's throw this up right now. There we go.
What is real?
Come on.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
All right.
Was that just a wonderful roller coaster ride of the Doppler effect for everybody, or just me?
It was for me too.
I don't know what the Doppler effect is.
That's when something moves past you, it gets faster sounding and then slower sounding.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice. I was waiting for it to end.
Okay.
Are they for real, Pete?
The theme of the part of the show that he actually likes.
There you go.
But it's too long, so he blocked it out.
Dave
right.
Scardino says we should change it to real to real.
There you go.
There you go.
Or just
That was a good band. That was a good band back in the early 90s.
Pete,
even have a
tell
name
us what
for
your
it.
first Are They For Real is today.
Well, I tell you what, my first Are They For Real was going to be. Who's for real? I was looking at college teams that have new coaches who have sucked lately, but who were pretty darn good not that long ago, or perhaps longer ago than we'd like to admit. And of course, the two that I came up with were Colorado and Nebraska, who have a couple of guys named Dion Prime, my buddy, and Matt Rule. And so these are the two teams that have been, I would say, Nebraska more historically
20 years
top-notch
ago,
than Colorado.
Yep.
But Colorado had some good years too, and they have sucked
20 years
lately.
ago.
Yeah, and they have new coaches, and so I said, who's going to be more for real amongst those two teams? Who's going to be better?
And we answered that
but
question.
now 2 weeks have gone by.
Profoundly.
Yeah, 2 weeks have gone by, and that's been pretty much answered. It's Colorado.
Yeah, it's Colorado.
Because Nebraska's 0-2, and Colorado's 2-0. And I loved what I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. The quarterback, Dion's son, said. Matt Rule said what mean things about my dad, so I don't respect him.
No, what they got mad because they stood on the logo. I mean, look, just shut up and play because you're really good. And
well, now they have.
You sound like a little whiner, and you're gonna.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was honest.
Here's the thing: is that Nebraska is more real than they have been in a long time, but they are nowhere near as real as the Colorado Buffaloes. They're just not even close. Look, Colorado is going to have a Heisman Trophy winner this year, and they're going to compete for a national championship. I'm telling you, they are going. They're not.
Shedeur,
yeah.
Shedeur, yeah.
For sure, Shedeur.
Shedeur.
Look, they're going to beat some teams that nobody expected them to beat. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to beat Oregon.
I think they will.
I think they will. Here's the thing: is that if you watch Game 1 versus Game 2, the weapons that Shedeur relied on were completely different in Game 2 than they were in Game 1, and they came out flat. They're definitely not perfect. They have some, but they make adjustments, and they're a smart team, and they're a veteran team. You got to remember, this is like their third year for a lot of these guys, which you don't see a lot in college football because they played in a historically black college, the transfer portal, following, Dion to Colorado. This is a deep team, and they're only going to get better. And I don't think they're going to be perfect, and there's going to be some teams that are going to be outside of their class. But guess what? They're going to be really close. When you're a 21-point underdog against the national runner-up, and you beat them on their field, that's a statement. And that Nebraska game wasn't even as close as it was. No, it was way more of a blowout than the score. They let that last touchdown should have never happened. Yeah. But the biggest thing is that Nebraska's third string quarterback is Brock Purdy's brother. Just wanted to let you know that. And I think his name is Chubba.
Yeah, Chubba.
Chubba Purdy.
Chubba Purdy, yeah. Chubba Purdy.
So there you go. I was laying on the couch, closed my eyes for a minute, woke up, and I saw Chubba Purdy. He was in for one play, and I was like,
"You're laying on the couch, falling asleep for a minute. You woke up and saw Chubba."
Saw Chubba, yeah. It's rare when that happens. I had to celebrate it, so I took a picture of it and sent it to you guys. Anyway, so Colorado's for real.
Yes.
Are they as for real?
Dave agrees.
As Dion says they are now. Next,
let's stick with that theme because we'll stay with Colorado here. Are they so for real that they will get into the college football championship series? It probably means one loss.
I think their schedule works against them. They got a tough schedule and a lot of tough road games. I don't think so, but I wouldn't bet against them. They could do it. They could do it, which I don't think anybody would say.
I don't know how many games they play, actually, but can they go blank and 1? Or at the most, blank and 2 And if it's between them and somebody else who's got 2 losses,
I don't think they're going to have any more than 2 losses. I do think they can do it.
Well, here's who they play. Here's who they play coming up. They play Oregon. They play Colorado State this weekend.
That's a win
at Folsom Field. Then they play at Oregon. Which,
that's a loss.
Well, I don't know.
No, I don't. I think
I'm doing my.
Then they play. This is a game. This is the game that I'm trying to get tickets for. Then they play USC at.
That's a win.
At Colorado at Folsom Field. Then they play at Arizona State. They play Stanford at home. Then they got to play UCLA in UCLA.
That's a loss.
Yeah. Then they play Oregon State, who's, by the way, number 16 now in the nation.
Colorado's number 18, by the way, right now.
Well, they play a lot of ranked teams, is my point. So they play Arizona, who could be ranked by the time that they play them. They play Washington State, who's number 23 in Washington. And then they end the season in Utah against the number 12th ranked Utes. So, look, they opened up against a ranked team, okay? They're going to play Oregon, USC, UCLA, Oregon State, Washington State, and Utah. Those are all ranked top 25 teams on their schedule. That's a tough schedule.
It's a tough schedule, but I honestly think they can. Those 6 teams you just mentioned that are ranked. I honestly can see them going 4-2 with those 6 games,
barring any major injuries. Knock on wood. I think that they can have a 2-loss season. I really do, and maybe a 1-loss season. But if they get by USC, if they can beat Oregon and go and then come home to play USC, it's going to be the battle of the. When was the last time 2 top Heisman candidates played against each other?
That'd be a great game. It's been a bit. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's good. I'm telling you. There's something about this team, and they're only getting better. They're young. They're learning. They're deep.
Yep.
They're deep. They're
David said Colorado hasn't been this good since Eric Sleeping with Bieniemy played.
Yeah, they haven't been this good since McCarthy was the coach and since Cordell Stewart had the Hail Mary, which I was in Boulder for. So they haven't been good for a very long time. There's a lot of similarities to McCarthy and Deion Sanders. On the surface, they're the polar opposites. But McCarthy was also a guy who treated people like family. There was a lot of God this and sort of moral lessons going on. But it seems to work with these young kids. And whatever he's got them doing, he has them ready. He's got good coaches underneath him. And these guys are really talented. They're really talented. Yeah. I could see 4, 5, 6 of these guys playing in the NFL in the next 2 to 3 years.
Agreed. And we also said tough schedule. They have a tough schedule. 1 loss might get them in the playoffs, but going to be difficult.
Yep.
You know what? I think if they play the brand of football they're playing, even 2 losses might be able to sneak them in. But loss, I do definitely get in.
This year, anything can happen. Look, Bama's not as tough.
So the question is, John, are they good enough to do it?
They are.
I think they are too.
I think they are. Absolutely. I do definitely believe they are. Yeah.
Maybe this is the year of Colorado.
There you go.
It might be.
Definitely not in baseball, but definitely not in football.
Well, listen, we talk about this with it was Florida, right?
Yeah.
Right. So why not Colorado?
It was.
They're long suffering. Right?
That is true.
All right. A little bit of baseball for Are They For Real? In the West, Houston, Texas, or Seattle? Seattle's been strong. I think they lost like 4 in a row or something like that. Texas, is it time to stick a fork in them?
Well,
or can they rebound? And Houston is doing what Houston does, right? So, you know what? Let's assume Houston's going to win the division. Who's more for real for the
Seattle,
for the wild card? Seattle or Texas?
Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle. I don't want to play Seattle in a 5 or 7 game series. I don't. I think Seattle's more dangerous.
I definitely agree. Seattle's more dangerous.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's head to the National League. Same question. Who's more for real for the wild card? Miami, who's a game and a half back. Cincinnati, who's a game back. or San Francisco, who's a game back?
Honestly, those three teams, I'm going to say Cincinnati.
I'm going to go with Miami. There's something about that team that, but
I mean,
I
they're
think
basically they're right there with each other. So
and look, the Giants have surprised a lot of people.
I think of the three of them.
Look,
I'm going to put the
Arizona's
Giants
made
last.
a nice rebound, right? If they had continued on the way they were, then San Francisco would probably be in second right now. But they made a nice rebound after a hot start and a little bit of a stumble.
Right.
Cincinnati's streaky, but I don't know if they have it in them to go on another streak.
Miami's.
I think I agree with Harry. I think it's Miami.
Yeah.
A slight edge.
Yeah, I mean, those are the two tops. I think, for whatever reason, I think Frisco is the third of those three.
San Francisco is the wild card of the wild cards.
Nobody in that wild card race is playing much better than 500 ball in their last 10 or 12 games.
No, they're Miami 74 and 71. Cincy and San Fran are 75 and 71. So although San Francisco is twice as far out of their division.
I think it stays as it is. I think the Diamondbacks hold on. To be honest with you, I think Philly, the Cubs, and Arizona are the wild card teams.
Yeah, it could. Yeah,
it's very possible. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's about it for Are They For Real? So,
all right.
A little college football, a little baseball,
and there you have it. Yeah, cool.
And there we have it.
And we'll fade out the "Started Again" background music because we went so long.
Yeah, that was a long one.
That was a very long one. But good though. Very good. Anyway, all right. There we go. Well, while we're talking about baseball, while we're on that, just a couple quick notes. Your thoughts on David Stearns getting hired as the president of baseball ops for the Mets?
Why not?
Why not?
What do they got to lose?
Look, he obviously they've been gunning for him for a while. Obviously, he was in Milwaukee. His contract's up this year, so he was able to jump ship and come back to New York. He's a local guy. But the funny thing is, he was at one point early in his career, he was an intern with the Mets under Omar Minaya. And Omar Minaya was begging the Wilpons to keep him on, find a place for him, pay him, find a place for him, and get him on the team. Give him a job, right? And they said, nope, got to let him go. And then he went and became what he became, right? So, yeah, another Wilpon blunder. But in any event, he's back where he belongs, president of baseball ops. Apparently, he's going to be working still with whatchamacallit? Yeah. With everything going on with football, I've just so removed myself from baseball. I hate that. Our current GM.
Yeah.
So,
well, with the way the Giants and Jets are, we might be removed from football here pretty soon.
That is true.
Yeah.
John Stearns is catching again now.
Yes, he is. That's great.
And it's like when I say earlier, instead of saying David, I said Daniel Stearns is
he's the guy from Home Alone. Yeah,
I'd be fine if he was the.
It's not bad.
I don't know anything about this stuff. This is like deep dish, insider stuff that I don't pay enough attention to the Mets.
Well, I'll throw one Yankees thing at you and we'll stop that. What's your take on Dominguez coming up, being a ball of fire, 3 home runs in 2 games, lighting it up, and then all of a sudden now he needs Tommy John. As a position player, needs Tommy John.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Again, it just seems like the way in which things are going. I think he has a lot of potential. Am I just blown away by him? No. I think I think he shows more potential than a lot of these so-called wonderful prospects the Yankees have been periodically trotting out over the last 2 to 3 years. We'll see. We'll see. He is young. He should recover pretty quickly. He should be able to play next year. Will it impact him? I don't know. I don't remember the last position player to have Tommy John surgery, but I'm guessing.
It's not completely uncommon,
right? But I'm guessing it's far easier for a position player to recover from that than a pitcher. And it's been a successful, the success rate on Tommy John surgery it has been pretty high. So, yeah, the Yankees, it's like Yahtzee. You put a bunch of guys in the Yahtzee cup, you roll it out, and every once in a while their lineup seems to make sense.
Right.
I don't know. I think this latest surge, if you want to call it that, should not blur the line of what this Yankee team has failed to accomplish this year. And I don't think it should save certain people's jobs. That's about it.
I agree.
All right. That sounds good.
All right.
Should we do some picks?
I think we should do some picks. It hasn't come through yet, so I'll just read it. And we'll have it there. So let's...
do we know what games we're doing?
Well, we're each going to pick a game.
Oh, there we go.
I've chosen beforehand.
I'm sure I'll lose.
So, yeah, it was...
wants to be beaten by the coin.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so basically it's, what is it, 6-6-6-5? Yeah, John's got 5 points because he took the Giants.
Like an idiot.
And wisely made that his 1 point game.
Oh, it's definitely be my point. I said that.
And Harry and I in the coin, we picked all 3 games right, so we all got 6 points. And this system might not be as exciting as I thought.
Give it some time.
But, yeah, we're only 3 games in, so. But anyway, I think it was that way for a lot of last season, too. I was looking back at the weeks as I was cleaning out, the old files. And I think we were tied or within a game or 2 of each other.
Most of the year.
Up until like week 18 or something. So
yeah.
All right. So who wants to choose a game first? Anybody?
John, why don't you pick one?
All right. I'm going to pick. My game is going to be the Giants Cardinals. That's going to be my game.
Yeah. All right. John picks the G-Men against the Cards. And who are you picking?
I am picking the Giants, and it's my 1 point.
Picking the Giants for 1, Harry.
Oh, God, I hate this game. I'm gonna pick the Cardinals. They play tough against the Washington team. I don't think it's gonna be. Am I getting 5.5?
No, there's no spread.
Okay.
So he's gonna pick the Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals, and I'm going to make it my 1 point game. What is it? 1, 3, and 5 or something like that?
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. I am going to. Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Giants. And I'm gonna make it. I don't know. Do we actually think Arizona's tanking? I'm going to make it my. It's hard to know without knowing what the other games are.
The other games are, right? Exactly.
I'll make it my 2 point game. Just for
hell of it.
And the coin. Oh, let me write this down here. The coin is picking. Who's home in this game?
Arizona.
So the coin is picking the Giants as well. And I'm using a random number generator here.
That'll work.
And it is their 2 point game.
All right.
No, you know what? Let's
No.
Yeah, no, that's right. I thought I read it wrong. Okay.
All right.
Harry, who do you like?
Didn't I pick the Cardinals?
No.
Or
What game?
No, you got what we're gonna
which
pick a
game
game that we want to pick.
Let's stay with. I'm gonna take the Jets and Cowboys. I'm going Cowboys, and I'm going 3.
And who do you like to win?
Oh, Cowboys.
The Cowboys. All right, Jets and the boys. John?
Cowboys 3.
Man, you guys are.
Well, it's going to be hard for you, right?
Yeah, right. You think I'm going to take the Jets, but I'm not, because the Cowboys are my other team. Boy, this is just the type of game the Jets would win.
Right.
It's a little too early. It's a little too early for them to do
Yeah,
that, right?
Yeah.
They can only do that when they're going to get really high.
Right. They're going to do that when Colt McCoy signs.
Right.
Yeah, like week 17, they'll get a win like this, and that'll ruin their draft chances.
Right.
Browning Nagel's available, so
That's right.
I'm gonna make it my 3-point game as well.
Jeff Rutledge is going to play for the Jets.
The coin. The coin likes the away team, which is who?
the Jets.
Okay, so the coin likes the Jets. And they like it for a 3-point game.
There you go.
They're not done.
So big upset. Good for the
Big
Jets.
upset. The coin takes the lead.
Good
Yeah,
for the
big
coin,
time.
yeah.
All right, what's
What's
your
the
game there?
latest on Burrow? Is he going to play?
Yeah.
He looked terrible, though.
He did.
Yeah.
All right, you know what?
But he never beats Cleveland in Cleveland.
I know.
It's
I'm
so
going to go
weird.
the Seahawks at the Lions.
Oh, boy.
And that'll be my 1-point game. And I'm going to take the Lions. I think I'm going to ride the Lions. I'm going to take
the Lions too, and I think by default that's my 2-point game.
That is correct. John?
Same as Harry. It's Lions too.
Oh yeah, you guys are in lockstep. And the coin likes the away team once again.
Picking the Seahawks.
Picking the Seahawks, and that will be their 1-point game.
Alrighty.
All right.
So there we go.
Exhilarating.
John and the coin like the Giants. Everybody but the coin likes the Cowboys. Everybody but the coin likes the Lions. So the coin will, as usual, either fall far behind or perhaps be in the lead.
Perhaps in the lead.
Or we'll all still be 1 point apart, which is the most likely scenario.
And I won't remember who I should have picked.
Exactly. And who?
There we go.
Here's last week's. There you go. There you go. I'm at 5, and the rest of you, including the coin, are all at 6. So there you go.
Still, overall, I mean,
pretty
11
good.
out of 12 right. That's pretty good for the team, for the show.
Right. We're like the American League East in April.
Yeah, exactly. All
righty.
All right.
So there, that's beaten by the coin.
Beaten by the coin.
Go.
Good show. Yeah. All right.
All right.
All right. So on that note, we will wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROM.com. And please remember, did I say Logger Room? It's Get On With It podcast. I got the wrong one up. I apologize. Visit our website, getonwithitpodcast.com. That's Get On With It podcast. Well, it used to be the Logger Room website. We just switched recently. So
we broke with them.
We broke. So, but remember, like us and follow us on all of our
Bunch
social media.
of lazy tailgating motherfuckers.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. See? Still there. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our brand new host, Spreaker, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and some brand new platforms, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podchaser. Pretty much anywhere you can get a downloaded podcast and get your podcast feeds, you can find our podcast. Anyway, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Watch football. It's going to be another great week. Well, it was a shitty week. Hopefully it's a better week anyway, but it'll be another good week of football.
Two of the same teams we picked in week 1.
Exactly. And it all starts tomorrow night with the Eagles and the Vikings. So watch your football, and we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Thanks, Jessica, for doubling our viewership.
Goodbye, everybody.
Tell your friends about us.
All of them.
Even